Hey, what is up, my sexy viewers? It is SizeMatterz, and today I'm going to be talking about trading, specifically when you should be looking for profit and when you shouldn't be, and deciding whether a trade is good or not, whether you're making profit off of it or whether you're breaking even and it's just a good trade. So, there's several different situations where you want to be looking for profit and where you probably shouldn't be making profit, but sometimes you can. So, as far as the profit making goes, main the main situations where you're going to be looking for profit are skin trades. So, if I had my flip fade knife here and somebody was offering on it and they were only offering in skins, then I would ask them to be overpaying for it. And my logic behind that is if someone's giving me 5 skins for my 1 skin, then I'm dividing up my item. On top of that, I have to resell all 5 of those skins, and that's going to take me hypothetically 5 times longer than it would to sell one item. So, in the long run, it takes me more time to actually cash out when somebody is paying in skins, meaning that they should be overpaying for it. It's going to be harder for me to get the money out of it. And then also, in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I'm making profit off of it, so it's worth it. So that is when you're going to be looking specifically for profit. Also, when someone is giving you a downgrade knife. So I know this flip fade is worth about 84 keys. If somebody gave me a knife that was worth 60 keys, that's a downgrade. So I'd look for a bit of an overpay on that. 60 keys isn't too huge of a downgrade. So I would ask maybe, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 keys overpay. It's really up to them and what they want to do. And it also depends on what knife they're giving me. If they're giving me a really, really hard to sell knife, I may ask for more keys or, work out something with them. But it just really depends on the situation there. Those are the two specific situations that I can think of, skin overpays and downgrades, that you should specifically be looking for profit. And if you're not, then you're doing it wrong. So, the situations where you're going to be looking for the same, like not making any profit, a good trade, is when someone is giving you a knife of similar value. So, take for instance, Flip Crimson Web is worth about 85 keys. My Flip Fade is worth about 84 keys. The 1 key isn't going to make any difference. It's like giving someone a penny on top of, $100. It's not, doesn't make any difference to me. So that would just be considered a good trade. But also, on top of that, looking into the Crimson Web, you could look for cleanliness, seeing if there's any scratches on it, seeing if it looks factory new. You can look for the webs on it. If there's any thick webbing, it may make the value of the knife more. So you can look for things like that, and maybe you'll be able to resell that knife for more. Also, you've got to think in a trade where you're not necessarily making profit. You got to think, well, do you want that knife? Like, are you going to be happy if you have that knife for a while? Because I know from personal experience that sometimes you're stuck with a knife for quite a while, and if you don't like that knife, then it's going to suck. You're going to want to get rid of it, and that's the worst thing you can do while trading, is being impatient. Patience is the key to trading, and if you're not a patient person and you can't wait for something to be sold, then you're not going to make any profit in trading. That is just the sad truth. You are not going to make any profit if you are not patient. If you can't wait for something to sell for what it is actually worth, then don't even trade. Just don't bother trading, because you're not going to like it and you're not going to make money off of it. So that is probably the best bit of advice that I can give you in that situation. So, as far as looking for what a good trade is, like as far as valuing knives and things. Let me just switch over here. If a knife is like a low tier knife that it is below $400, which I personally consider as a low tier knife, then you can look on Steam Analyst. This is going to be the best website for any kind of skins or knives that are going to be below $400. You can check it up on here. I have my flip fade already pulled up, and you can see that it is 84 keys. That just gives you the 7-day average and tells you how much the knife is. For anything that is above 400, you're going to have to specifically search it on CSGO Lounge. This isn't nearly as hard as what people make it, so don't stress out about it. So if I wanted to figure out, let's see. Let's just do a karambit fade. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. Karambit fade, factory new. Here we go. So basically all you're going to want to do here is open as many tabs as you can with trades in it. You don't want any person with duplicate trades, just new people down through here, and you open as many as you can, as many as you want to, until you feel confident that you have figured out the price of the knife. I know it doesn't sound like I don't know, it doesn't sound like it's the best way of doing it, but it actually is the best way of figuring out how much a knife is worth. So looking through here, karambit fades are going to be specifically a little bit harder to figure out the price of them because there's patterns with a karambit fade. Specifically, the percentages of fade on it. Like, karambit fades are, most people are going to look for full pink, and full pink is signified by having 10% yellow in it. So this guy is saying 90-10, which means 90% pink, 10% yellow, which is the maximum amount of pink and yellow you can have on a knife, which means it's worth a shit ton, basically. But it just depends what you're specifically looking for, and that's what you're going to have to look for in these trades. You're going to look for key values, and once you found the lowest value for that knife, you are going to price it, basically. So here we've got a karambit fade factory new. Let's take a look at the image. You always got to look and see what it looks like. Ooh, that is ugly. Okay. That is so ugly. That, I'll tell you right now, off the top of my head, that is 310 keys is pushing it for that knife. I would say that's like 280 maybe. That's pushing it. So, yeah. You just got to keep looking. Like, I know all the pricing off the top of my head, like I said before. So, yeah. 95.5. That's about right. Let's see what it looks like. What? What is that? Oh, that's his current offer. I want to see pictures, noob. Alright. Click. There you go. Yep, that looks about right. I wouldn't say that's... Yeah, that's like 5 and 95. Yep. Seems about right. That's a good price for the knife. 450 keys is definitely about it right there. Okay, so let's look and see what this guy has. His for karambit fade. That one is actually more expensive than what the guy was looking for. So the other guy that had the same exact knife basically was looking for 450 keys. This is for 475. So that is more expensive. So you just want to keep looking until you find what is going to be the cheapest out of all the people selling it, who is selling it for the cheapest. Okay, so you got a 50 and 50, which is 285, and 290. Okay, that seems about right. And then 70 and 30. He's actually selling it more than the other guy. He was selling it for 310 keys. And this guy is selling it for 320. So I think, wait a minute. Okay. So, all right, no, that trade before was like really screwing me up. All right, so he said his knife was 70-30. The larger number is going to be considered pink, and the smaller number is going to be considered purple, because people don't want purple. That guy before had the trade up saying it was 70-30. That was like 70% purple, not 70% pink. God, that guy completely screwed his trade. All right, so his knife was probably like 280 keys, like I said before. And this one just completely confused me. All right, anyways, continue. 70-30. So, I mean, you get the basic gist of what I'm doing here already. So that's 320. So they're about the same price. So I can say pretty much confidently a 70-30 is going to sell around 300 to 320 keys. That is about the pricing of it. And that if that was the knife that someone is trading you, you now know the price of it, and you now know, well, you can now determine whether or not it's going to be a good trade for you. So I hope that basically just gives you a gist of how to do it. I may not have explained it as well as I wanted to, but I hope that basically just told you, the ways that you can figure out how much a knife is, if it's mid to high tier, because I get a lot of questions from people asking me, about skin patterns, whether a knife is worth this amount or whatever. And really, it's just as easy as looking on Lounge and looking up a few trades and determining it for yourself. I mean, you can look through the hundreds of pages if you want to determine whether a knife is worth something or not. It's completely up to you. But after a while, you're going to figure out, well, this number keeps popping up. This is how much it's worth. So it's simple, and many people shouldn't have as many questions as they should about it. That's just how I feel, and it's really simple. It just takes some time. I hope you guys learned something from this video, at least. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.